All right, so we're going to graph some systems of inequalities now. If you watched my video on graphing systems of equalities or equations, then they are going to be very similar to that, except that we're going to have some shading involved. We're not going to have a point in common. We're going to have a section in common called a solution set. So the first thing we have to do is get it into the y equals mx plus b format. So y equals mx plus b. And even though it's not an equal sign, the inequality sign is there. So this one right now is already set up that way. And this one kind of is too. But see how these two are rearranged? I'm just going to move the negative x, see, because it's a negative x. And this 2 is a positive because there's no sign in front of it. I'm just going to change that around. And I'm going to just draw a little line through that. So now I have two inequalities that I like. So now we're going to, this is a solid line underneath this, and so is this one. So remembering that if it's greater than or less than, it's an open circle. It's a dashed line. And if it's a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, it's a solid line. Solid lines underneath means solid. So that just helps us out. And if we were graphing this on a number line, yes, we'd have to use open circle versus closed circle. So here we go. This. So first thing we do is we find where it crosses. This tells us right here where it crosses the y-axis. That's the b part. This is your slope. There's nothing in front of this x, so that means it's a 1. So 1 over 1. So this slope means it goes up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. So on and so forth. Down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. All the way. And it's a solid line. And I might have to go bigger. We're going to find out soon enough. Okay. All right. And so see that 0, 0? It's still on this side of the line. So we're going to need that point to know for shading purposes. But let's graph this one first. So this one's graphed at up 2. So here's our 2. And we got to go down 1 over 1. See that down 1 over 1? So down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, 1 over 1. We have a crossing point. Solid line again. But it's not at a solid piece. So we have to check this one right here is the y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 2. And this one was y is less than or equal to x plus 1. And now let's check. If we put the 0, 0 in for this line that we're looking at, 0, 0, if 0, 0 works, we shade this. But if 0, 0 doesn't, we shade all of this. Okay? Now, let's try it. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to substitute in. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm substituting in the 0, 0. 0 less than or equal to 0 plus 1. 0 less than or equal to a 1. Is 0 less than or equal to a 1? Yes. So I'm going to shade all under that line. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this equation, which is 0 greater than or equal to negative 0 plus 2. Is 0 greater than or equal to a 2? Is 0 better than a 2? No, that's a false statement. So that means we aren't going to shade. If we have this line right here, that means 0, 0 did not make that statement true. So we got to shade up. So I'm going to go like this. And where they double cross, that's the solution set. So this is the double cross section. So this section is the solution. I don't really like that marker very much. So I guess we're just going to go with this blue one again. So this section is the solution to that set of inequalities. Okay, So we're going to watch this again. Okay, so let's watch another one. Okay. All right, let's do remember, the lines don't always have to be the same inequalities. Signs. All right, so we're going to use these two. They're already ready for us to just do. So it's going to be starting at the positive 2, and this is up 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1, 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 down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And it's a dashed line because there's no solid underneath. So that's that. And this one starts at the negative 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, dashed lines. So now this is dashing underneath that, 0, 0 still on that side. Okay, so this one right here was the y is less than x plus 2, and this was the y is greater than negative 2x minus 1. That's a negative slope, hence negative in front. That's positive slope, going like a ladder, going like a slide. And here we go. So we're going to take this one and check if 0, 0 works, we shade up. If 0, 0 doesn't work, we shade down on this one. So over here, we're going 0 greater than negative 2 times 0 minus 1. 0 greater than 0 minus 1 is 0 greater than a negative 1. That is yes. So that means we have to take the line and shade above it. Okay, so now we take this one, and I'm just going to go down here with it. 0 less than 0 plus 2 is 0 less than 2. That's a yes. So that means we shade where the 0, 0 is, which is below this line. Remember, we're always looking at the line and how 0, 0 is on this side of it. So we shade down. Where we said yes on this one, the 0 is right there. We have to shade that way. So where they double go, that's the solution there. Okay. I hope this makes sense. Rewind if it doesn't. Message me if you need more help. And as always, this is Miss Bobby, and I love math. Diet Coke and CrossFit.